Hey guys, welcome back to Phantasy Star 4. This is Kaiten's29, and in our last episode, we made it to Birth Valley. We found Professor Holt and his team, but we discovered that they were all turned to stone. So that was no use to us. To cure them, Alice suggests that we go far south to the town of Molcum to look for Alshline. But before we do that, this is a good time to, well, save, obviously. Go over the macro system in the game. Macros, as you can see here, are preset attack commands that you can set up however you want and go into battle and select them. That way you don't have to navigate through all the sub-menus for all the characters. And it saves a little bit of time, it's nice. A couple things to note about the macro system is that your character's speed does not play a factor in terms of who attacks in what order. The macros play out in whatever order you set them up as. So here, it's set up as Chaz, Alice, Han. Normally Alice will attack first, but because this one is set up with Chaz attacking first, she won't attack until Chaz does. So you want to keep that in mind when you're setting up your macros. Speed does come into play when you're talking about the enemy speed, however. If the enemy is faster than you, or rather, if they're faster than the first character in the macro, your macro won't go until all the enemies attack because, well, they're faster. Enemies can actually interrupt your macros as well, which could be detrimental when you're trying to do the combination attacks. Yes, this game, very much like Chrono Trigger, has combination attacks. If your characters do certain skills or spells in combination, they will cast them at the same time for either an added effect or tons of damage, or both in some cases. And now that Chaz learned Thunder, we have access to our first, it's actually a triple tech, or a triple technique. So let's go ahead and set that up and see if we can get that to work. Let's use Han with water. Chaz will use Thunder, or Sue. And Alice will do Fire. Macro will set up, are you sure? Yes. So that's how you set up a macro. You just pick what you want to do with who, confirm, and there you go. And as you can see, you can have up to 8 of them. Wow, I'm terrible with letters and numbers. You can set up to 8 macros, which usually I use them for pre-setups for bosses, you know, all the essential buffs, anything else I need to set up in the first round or two. So it's pretty nice, I like that. But anyways, let's head south and see if we can't find Molcum. And we'll give that triple tech a shot on the way as well. New enemy, sand newts. Unfortunately, just like everything else in this area, they're pretty vanilla. They have a couple regular attacks, nothing special. But anyways, let's see what we can do here. Alright, Tri-Blaster. Yeah, get fucked. That is awesome damage for this point in the game. Tri-Blaster is non-elemental, even though it combines fire, ice, and thunder, but it hits all enemies regardless of whether they're in a group or not, so that can be very nice. Han level. Mental, agility, dexterity, HP, TP. This is actually a good time to go over the stats in detail a little bit more because I don't want to go too far ahead in this episode. I do want to try and keep the videos somewhat short if I can. But actually I had someone asking me, Kai, what exactly do the stats mean? And when you level up, can you get more than 2 or 1? To answer the second question first, no you cannot. Every time you level, your stats only go up by 1 or 2 points. And that being said, even at max level, depending on your character, I think Chaz gets the most well-balanced stats. His stats end up around like 100, 101, 102, somewhere in that range. So yeah, when you level, your stats only go up by 1 or 2. And the stats themselves, as you can see on the right there aren't that many, there's only 4. It's a pretty simple game. Strength should be pretty obvious, it affects your attack power. Mental affects your magic power, but it also affects how much your heals are going to heal for. I'll put a link in the video description to a FAQ on GameFAQs that lists all the stats, how they affect your skills, the healing formulas, the damage formulas. It also has tons of information on items that can be used in battle to produce spells. All the combination attacks are also listed in that FAQ. It also has information on elemental aspects, you know, strengths and weaknesses of all the enemies. So it's a really, really in-depth FAQ. Definitely take a look at that if you're new to the game, or even if you're not new to the game. I'm not, and I glanced over and I learned a few new things. So yeah, I'll be sure to link that in the video description for you guys. Agility is speed. I believe it also affects either your avoidance or your defense, although that's very minor. Its primary role is speed. And as you saw in that last battle, the enemies attacked first because we initiated the macro with Han. Even though Alice is normally faster than them, she had to wait for Han to go first. So that was actually a perfect example there. Dexterity in this game is kind of like the luck stat in every other RPG. Some people say it affects your accuracy, others say it affects your crit rate. It's not really explained in detail in that FAQ, even though I just raved about it. But I'm almost certain it affects your accuracy, which for the most part is not a big deal. I mean, I know we've seen Chaz and I think Han miss once or twice already, and later on there are a few enemies that have just ridiculous high evasion, but we'll worry about that when we cross that bridge. Attack power is derived from your strength, and your defense power is loosely based on your agility, like I said. So those are your stats. Those are how you acquire them. Once again, it's through your levels, 1 or 2 points. And I'll go over other items or other ways to increase your stats when we come across them. But for now, there you go. There's another new enemy we can come across here. 4 enemies. Or not, because Chaz has no TP. I was going to say let's do Tri-Blaster here, but we'll have Alice attack everything. You attack, and go with... Well, actually, let's give Gellin a shot. We'll try to demonstrate that for you guys. Oh man, Chaz, you're getting wrecked. 3 out of 4, not bad. Yeah, like I said, it just reduces their attack power. It's a debuff, and unfortunately outside of random battles, debuffs aren't too useful in this game. Like, say, Dragon Quest 2 was the first game that had good debuffs. Definitely Dragon Quest 4, Sap and Surround, for that matter, are amazing. Again, Final Fantasy 13 also had great debuffs. This game, not so much. 126, nice. Which is a shame, because, you know, those of you who know me know that I played a Brigand in EQ2, and they're basically debuff whores. That's what they do. Just debuff mobs and cripple them. I love it. Anyways, let's see what's going on here. Mysterious music. Let's listen to this for a few seconds. That's one thing I haven't really touched up on so far is the music in this game. All the tracks are great. I love the entire soundtrack, which is kind of odd for a Genesis game. Usually I don't prefer the music from the Genesis. I don't know if it's because of the sound chip or the hardware or just the composers themselves. Not to say anything bad about them, I guess I'm just spoiled by, you know, Uematsu and I'm going to butcher his name, I'm sorry. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it right now, I'm way too tired. The composer for the Tales games, Star Ocean, other Tri-Ace titles like Valkyrie Profile. I think it's Motoi Sakuraba. Oh man, if you're listening to this by some random chance, I do apologize for destroying your name. But yeah, he's a great composer, as well as Yasunori oh man, the guy who did Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross. Oh, that's actually embarrassing. You know who they are, viewers. You know who they are. But, wow. This place looks burned to the ground. And, who's this guy? Rune. No, that's Diaz. Diaz? Is that you? No, it's not Diaz, unfortunately. However, Rune he's a close second to Diaz, and he apparently knows Alice. wish it was Diaz. That'd be that'd be fucking awesome. He's not a kid. He's what, 15, 16? That's old enough to save the world. Oh, so Zio's the one who burned this place down. No, it was a giant cockatrice. You're looking too much into this, Chaz. Oh, I love Rune. He's awesome. He's probably my favorite character in the game. Yeah, Zio does seem to be pretty popular around these parts. Rune's theme, by the way, is epic. It's just epic. There's no other way to describe it. Yeah, that's kind of why we came here. Oh, he seems to think Tono has some. Alright, well, let's leave you to your business here, and we'll head over to Tono. Huh? What's wrong, hon? You could do that. You could take up Han's advice and just bypass Krupp altogether and head to Tono. If you wanted to, there's actually nothing important going on there. But we'll see how I feel in the next episode. Hey, alright. Yeah, definitely, man. More party members is always a good thing. I agree, Rune. Chaz is not very, it's not very heroic when it comes to names, but, it is what it is. I love Alice's expressions there. Yeah, there's definitely a history between those two. And, of course, everyone's just kind of ignoring Han. So, before we head out, let's check out Rune, who's level 17. Hell yeah. In short, Rune is a beast. He's definitely overpowered, especially for right now. Go down to his stats, level 17, wizard. He's your pure mage of the game. As you can tell by his equipment, you know, cane, robe, circlet. And his stats, 40 mental, that's his highest stat. Let's see, we have fire, water, gra, which is gravity. Arrows actually is kind of like awake in other RPGs. It cures your whole party of sleep. Techniques for outside of battle, he has Heinous and Ryuka. That is your escape and teleport command. So aside from being just a pure damage dealer, he also has a bit of utility, so that's pretty nice. You know, he's not just restricted to one role. For skills, he has Flaily, which is a single target spell. And Hewn is a wind spell which hits all enemies. So he comes with 2 AoEs right off the bat. And he's insanely high leveled. And he has a kick-ass theme song, so everything about Rune is just awesome. But before we head on to our next destination and before I showcase Rune, I'm going to cut this video here. Just because it did snow yesterday and I don't have to work today, so I do want to get a lot of recording done just because I'm feeling lazy. I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit here on my ass and play video games all day because I can do that. So I'm going to cut this video here. I'm going to go get a drink, take a quick break, and then I'll come back for some more recording. In our next episode, we will continue the search for Alshline. Until then,